Okay, we've given our box sufficient time to dry. Probably the way the project's going, this is next week's project, but at least a very minimum a couple of hours. And there are machines that you can use to sand. We have them in our workshop, so you're more than welcome to come to another class later on. But today we're going to do it by hand. Basically, we've got a couple of kinds of sandpaper, quite a rough one here, and a cork block. So you peel the cork block over here and find a place that's fairly firm. Whenever we sand, we always sand with the grain. Don't really have to worry about the plywood. We sand, don't cut across the grain because you won't be able to get the scratches out. So holding the cork block like so. At the moment, I'm just sanding that plywood off to bring that really down flush. It requires a fair bit of elbow grease. Now I'm going to sand off these finger joints. There's a couple of ways of doing it. First of all, just to contradict myself, you can use a circular motion. That helps cut the whole finger joint down faster. It's pretty smooth, and then stretch it out, circular motion again. Now that's been done with a rough piece of sandpaper that looks really scratchy. So then we go to another piece here. That's P180. You can get up to 600 plus, which is very, very fine. So basically, this should help cut it and smooth it. You'll be given a dust mask, and if this pine dust isn't dangerous, but does irritate the nose somewhat, so it might be good to wear that. The other thing too is what we call take the arris off with the sandpaper. Just run it on an angle at the bottom of the plywood. That's it. If you feel that it's sharp, so if you just do that, just do a little bit, takes the sharpness away. Same here. It's a good practice particularly for varnishing. The more work you put in sanding, the nicer it looks. And I should also say that it's good to do the top as well. So it's hard to sand with the grain that way and then cut across here. So that's when you can use that swirly motion. That'll loose. So you'll find there's holes on the outside of the box there for the handle. And I omitted to mention too that when you get the box, you'll have a T sign on each end. All that means is top. That's the top of the box. If you turn the box upside down, the holes will be in the wrong place. And that means that your handle would look rather strange. So now it's time to put the handles on the box, and then we get almost ready to put our clear lacquer on. The handles basically fit together like so. So it just needs a tiny wee little bit of glue there and there. Run a bit there. That's all you need, don't need much. You put these screws in ready to go and basically line the holes up. I'm just going to do that, line a hole up here and screw it in. Before I put that in, just start it. Then we get this handle, put it in like so, just lift it up gently. Sometimes it's good to align that. I don't know if you can see that there, but you see that handle there, it's out of alignment. So before you put the last screw in, it shouldn't be like that, just line it up. And you can actually sight the two edges here to make sure it's okay. And to save time, just because we can. That's about it. Just before we put our fancy little buttons on, we're going to quickly sand the top of the box here. And the same here. Now it's time for a bit of bling to make the box look nice. You can buy these from your favourite hardware store. Cover buttons they're called. Just need 4 of those. They just quickly glue, easily glue like so. You don't need much glue at all. And what I try and do is make sure that line there runs with the grain, not across the grain. And just, I think it might just need a wee little tap. Other side. Runs with the grain like so. And I'm going to just tap that in. You can already see a problem, can't you, with that glue there? So it's about wiping the glue off. Just double check on the box. You'll find that pencil lines were there that we need just to rub out, that mark the top of the box. And a bit of sharp edge here, so just that fill that there, just take the bit of the arris off, just that sharp edge off the top. And we're ready to varnish the box. Okay, the very last thing we're going to do for our project is to put two coats of lacquer on our little carryall here. We're going to use a water base. This is actually a gloss product. You're all going to be sent a small amount of this each as part of your project. It's important that you have a dust-free area, so basically with a cloth or something, make sure there's no dust around, completely dust-free. And this is a water base clear, which is great because it washes out in water. Not sure if you've done much painting, but there's a couple of things here that are probably tradies talk about all the time. Is when you dip your brush in the paint, try and dip it part of the way, and when you drag it out, see that under the lid? Don't drag it across the lid because that just all the paint goes inside that groove. So we usually paint the inside of the box first. And the other thing we always tell folks is to make sure that you paint with long strokes. It's best to paint with the grain, but it's impossible to paint with the grain really when you paint the inside of a box, so do as best you can. This is the first coat. So just check inside the box that you've got no runs and brush your runs out. Now let's have a look here. Now you see how I'm using long strokes, and then notice that's what you have to avoid. That's so you just taper off. So basically that's it. Just keep chipping away and checking your work, going back over your work to make sure there are no drips. It's good to put a coat at the bottom. You might wonder how you do that without your project sticking. Here's a little technique that painters use. It may not work on your kitchen table, but it can work elsewhere. Just by putting 4 nails, that elevates your work and stops it sticking. So basically, long strokes. And then on top of your nails like that. Now, when this is dry, varnishes tend to what they call raise the grain, which means it makes the timber just a little bit rough because it swells up on the surface. So the way you counter that, and also you get bits of grit, the way you counter that when you're painting clear is you wait till it dries and you get very, very, very fine sandpaper, and we'll put some in your kit, probably about 400 or even finer, and you just rub it very lightly, just go, that's all you do. It's not doing anything, it's just run across. It looks a bit scratchy, that's because it's a bit too rough. If you feel that, it's as smooth as smooth. And what's that's done is taken the raised grain and the grit away, and so your next coat is super shiny smooth. Well, that's the completed project. the Cutlery Caddy. There's only one more thing left to do. And that's to load it up with knives and forks and napkins and get out and enjoy a barbecue. Catch ya.